PlayStation is set to have a huge year in 2017. It's only February and PS4 has already got Neo, Yakuza 0, Tales of Berseria, and Resident Evil 7 in VR in terms of exclusives. Plus, in the near future, we're getting Persona 5 and Horizon Zero Dawn. If they play their cards correctly, 2017 could be a year for the record books. I'm Sean from Get Some Games, and here are 5 things we would love to see from PlayStation in 2017. Number 1. Let's finally get some release dates for blockbuster games. As of the time this video goes live, we currently know about God of War, Insomniac's Spider-Man game, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Death Stranding, Ni no Kuni 2, The Last of Us Part 2, and Dreams as far as exclusives are concerned. But we don't know when any of them are going to come out. It would be great for a couple of these games to come out in 2017, but at the very least, can we start getting some release dates for these games? Revealing a game so far out before release, it doesn't seem like a great tactic anymore, yet Sony continues to show off games that could be 3 years down the line still. This also could be putting Sony into a corner with this year's E3 and PSX. Once E3 happens this year, none of the games Sony announced last year will be available yet, so there's a chance that this year's E3 could look incredibly weak in comparison. Is Sony really going to unveil another 4 to 6 games without any signs of release date, and then have almost a dozen games out there slated to be released who knows when? That'll be a great way to generate immediate buzz with new game hype, but what about the near future? If they go the other way, we could be in for a less than stellar show if they just show more gameplay of games we already know about and a release date attached to it. Don't get me wrong, we need to start seeing more release dates, but if Sony stacks up too many games, all they'll have left to do is announce when they'll finally start coming out. This leads me to my next point. Number 2. Knock E3 out of the park yet again. E3 2015 was a crazy show, with The Last Guardian being revived and the insane announcement of Final Fantasy VII finally getting remade. And last year's conference was so good that it felt like some crazy fanfiction. Sony has proven that they know exactly what the fans want out of a press conference, so now expectations are at an all-time high. Is it even possible to beat last year's E3 without announcing a ton of games that have barely started development? With so many major games already announced, could Sony really have that many more blockbusters ready to be unveiled this year? Maybe they could show off a killer app for PSVR or a possible new second-party AAA title. If I had to guess, I would predict that Sucker Punch's new game is going to be revealed, and we'll probably get a couple release dates for Sony's major fall titles. Days Gone and Detroit Become Human for 2017, anyone? Number 3. Go all out with PlayStation Classics. It really is odd that both my PS3 and Vita have access to hundreds of digital PS1 games, but my PS4 has access to about 0. The PS2 to PS4 initiative has been great so far, but even that could be so much better. I really don't understand the positive side to holding back on the digital front. The majority of PS1, PS2, and PS3 games should be available digitally on PS4. PS3 games not being on there makes sense a little bit since publishers are still making money from re-releases, but there are so many dormant PlayStation classics that are just begging to be purchased. By the end of 2017, I would love for my PS4 to be a museum of the history of PlayStation. I actually believe that PlayStation Now is a great service, but it's a little pricey and only having PS3 games on there is a huge turnoff for me. I just played all of these games a few years ago and I didn't have to stream them. Streaming games works better than most people give it credit for, assuming you have great internet, but forcing this model doesn't seem to be working. Just let me give you money straight up for a game and let me own it. Number 4. Build the first-party roster back up. Over the past 5 years, Sony has closed down Studio Liverpool, Guerrilla Cambridge, Evolution Studios, Zipper, Big, and heavily cut back on other studios like San Diego Studios. Sony still has a very impressive first-party roster, but there are plenty of developers out there that seem like a perfect fit. Consoles live and die off their exclusives, and any hardcore PlayStation fan will tell you that PlayStation exclusives almost always have that extra dose of quality attached to them. A lot of the fun of PlayStation comes from their great games and characters being together like a family. Adding more developers will increase their exclusive output and continue giving the PlayStation brand that special feel that you can't get anywhere else. Getting that extra first-party push from Sony does wonders for games, and they always seem to have a keen eye for the next great new franchise. Studios like Housemarque and Quantic Dream are obvious choices, but I always think they should be looking for newer studios to bring fresh ideas to the AAA space. Being indie has more and more benefits every day, and some studios would hate to give up the rights to their own IP, but there are far worse publishers than Sony that they could work with. Sony has done a great job of securing third-party partnerships for PS4, but for a specific console, first party should be most important, and that's what PlayStation does best. Number 5. More crossover appearances with PlayStation characters. Sticking with PlayStation as a video game family, it was awesome to see Sony messing with this idea during the PS3 generation. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale was a great game, and I would love to see more of this. There'll always be a small group of people saying they're just copying Nintendo, but I think PlayStation has a long enough history that they have all the right in the world to start mashing up their own characters. A new Hot Shots Golf is coming to PS4 this year, and I think it would be a much bigger game if the roster was just an all-star cast of PlayStation characters. Who wouldn't want to hit the links as Nathan Drake and play in a tournament against Kratos, Aloy, Ratchet, and Joel? Not only would it boost sales, but it would personally make the game a lot more fun. Hot Shots is already great on its own, so why not give it the extra boost? Instead of making another halfway Smash Bros. Clone, why not try something else? What about a third-person PlayStation hero shooter? If done right, that could be awesome. Sony seems to be shifting the tone of their exclusives to a much more mature feel, but I still think there are countless possibilities of PlayStation crossovers. To wrap up, here's a quick list of smaller ideas I would love to see from PlayStation in 2017. Stop allowing every game under the sun onto the PlayStation Store. Have some quality control. Make me feel like it's worth spending $60 a year on PlayStation Plus again. Stop using the phrase, every PS4 game is also a Vita game with remote play as an excuse to having no Vita support. Support PSVR like you actually believe in it, and please don't let it die within the first year. And finally, please let us change our PSN names this year. The stupid name I came up with in 9th grade is now a sour stain on my profile that I would love to get rid of. Please, Sony, just figure it out. And there's our list. What would you like to see from PlayStation in 2017? Leave a comment below letting us know, and hit that subscribe button in the middle of your screen for more videos like this one, and of course our weekly video games podcast. Thank you for watching Get Some Games, and until next time, I'm out.